WandaVision kept us guessing for weeks, making the whole internet burst with theories, the second Marvel TV show for Disney Plus just arrived, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Will it also allow for many a theory, or will it be a straightforward action buddy comedy? And how did the first episode fare? Hi there, it's Micha. Let's look at those questions together. For this show I'm teaming up with my friend Neal again, like for The Mandalorian. While I am mainly acquainted with the MCU, he has some deeper knowledge of Marvel comics, though light years away from the level of expertise he has for the Star Wars universe. We will share our theories and Easter eggs, and if they are juicy, also some internet rumors, as long as there are no obvious spoilers or leaks. Neal is also providing the music for this series of review videos again, exclusively composed. I love to say these words. Thanks, mate! Now, let's check out the first episode of this week's plot in a nutshell. We catch up with Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Both of them vanished during the 5 years of the blip. Since their return, at least 6 months have passed. Sam teamed up with the US Air Force while trying to help his sister save the family business, learning that being a hero doesn't help pay a living. He didn't take on the Captain America mantle, donating the shield to the Smithsonian, as he wants to honor Steve Rogers' legacy that way. Meanwhile, Bucky was pardoned for his crimes as the Winter Soldier, committed while being mind-controlled, but is ordered to see a shrink. The memory of it haunts his dreams, so his therapist allows him to right his wrongs, as long as no crime is committed and no violence is involved. In that vein, he befriends the father of one of his collateral victims, having regular lunches, struggling how to make it right. This and his rising interest for the restaurant's waitress only makes him feel even more guilt. In the meantime, Sam's Air Force partner Joaquin Torres investigates a possible new threat to the world, a group called Flag Smashers, and gets hurt while doing so, as they seem to have recruited humans with super strength. The episode ends with the US government presenting a new Captain America to the world, who is using the same style of costume and bearing the shield that Sam wanted to be put to rest. Chapter 1 of the show convinces with a strong first impression and takes its time to catch us up a bit on what happened to both characters since the finale of Endgame. By the end of the episode, Sam and Bucky haven't teamed up yet. They don't even share a scene, but that is fine. As we are familiar with the two without knowing too much of their personal life, this build-up time is well invested and never feels wasted, something that might have happened if these were two completely new characters. Following their stories, I didn't even realize till the end of the episode that neither Helmut Zemo, returning villain and main antagonist, nor Agent 13 Sharon Carter, who is also one of the show's stars, are showing up or even being mentioned, which is a testament to the writers. The screenplay also does a good job by kicking off with an action scene for Sam, making sure no one is bored. That way we are introduced to a new group of unfriendlies, the LAF, who just wants to use the chaos in the world to make a quick buck. Easter egg. This reacquaints us with George Betrock, aka Betrock the Leaper, a French villain we met in Winter Soldier, where Captain America fought him on the Lemurian Star, a shield ship designed to launch targeting satellites for Project Insight. The mercenary and master of savate, a French form of kickboxing, is now a high-ranking member of the LAF. We will likely see more of them in future episodes. The action sequence also showed us that Falcon tries not to kill the enemy, if that is possible, while also not hesitating to do so if no other option is available. It also reminded us that Sam has a gadget called Red Wing, a small drone he can control, which will likely have more significance going forward. After the action sequence, we learn some private details about Sam, like his friendship to Joaquin Torres, the state of his family's business, which his sister had to run while he was gone, and that he missed 5 years of his nephews growing up. This part contains one of my favorite scenes in the episode, the interaction in the bank, where the question on many fans' minds is finally touched on. How does superheroes without big bank accounts finance their living? The answer? They don't. There is some help through goodwill, but otherwise you are screwed. Especially if you have vanished for 5 years, obviously without any income and financial history for that time frame. The writers have a similar approach for Bucky's reintroduction, capping his first scenes with an action sequence that turned out to be a nightmare, in which he remembers a mission as the Winter Soldier where he, under mind control, kills some of Hydra's foes, and an innocent bystander who witnessed too much. This scene is followed by him talking to his legally mandated psychiatrist, and some nice backstory of what he was up to in the last half year, including a sting operation in which he exposes a senator and former Hydra protege that he previously helped to get installed. He does that by following the 3 rules of his reconciliation. First, nothing illegal. Second, no one gets hurt, where he sometimes bends the rules. The 3rd rule though, he plays straight, telling the senator before she gets arrested, "I am no longer the Winter Soldier. My name is Bucky Barnes and you are part of my amends." Scenes like these show us that this series will likely be a little bit more lighthearted, allowing for some funny moments, even though Bucky's backstory is tragic, which we understand when we connect the dots that the old gentleman he befriends is the father of this unintended kill from his nightmare. This will likely be resolved in a later episode, as though the father is looking for closure. How do you tell someone that you were the killer? My theory: somewhere along the series, either the elderly friend or the whole world will learn Bucky's backstory and forgive him, allowing him to finally forgive himself and embrace his new destiny as a hero. Basically, I suppose this will be the main point of the whole show, positioning the 2 characters anew, solving who will be the new Captain America, and if not in name, at least his spiritual successor. The end of the first episode already shows that the mantle has not been laid to rest yet. Easter egg. In the comics, this new Captain America named John Walker started out as a villain named Super Patriot, conceived as the opposite of Steve Rogers, the first Captain America. He has similar powers to Steve. The villain part, though, concentrates more on his methods than his goals. He was experimented on by a character called the Power Broker and was used as a ruthless tool by the American government. He is also named Captain America and US Agent at times, fighting side by side with the good guys. This might mean that he also starts as a villain in the MCU. My theory, as the guy from the Flag Smasher organization seemed to have superhuman strength, maybe that was Walker. We are led to believe that that can't be, because he appeared on TV a few moments later, while Sam has Torres on the phone, who called from Switzerland a few moments after the robbery. But this is the MCU. There are individuals with super speed, able to teleport and even magic now, so we will see. But who or what is Torres referring to when he talks about the superhuman member of the Flag Smashers? At the end he says, "You don't think he could be a ... A what? Could that be a mutant? Since the end of WandaVision, roughly 4 or 5 months have passed. Did the event in WandaVision mutated the town, as theorized in my WandaVision reviews? Everyone in town was changed at least twice by the barrier. So is that ground zero for the MCU mutant population? Let's return to Torres for a moment. When he first asked Sam so many questions in Tunisia, I had 2 thoughts. Either he is a villain undercover, or will not survive this episode. And at the end, for a moment, it wasn't clear if he survived the attack in Switzerland. With him making it, he still could be a double agent, although he doesn't appear that way. Easter egg. Especially if you factor in that in the comics, Torres is the protege of Sam Wilson, our Falcon, who was at that time Captain America, with Torres becoming the new Falcon, although a human-bird hybrid in the comics, after being kidnapped and experimented on. In the MCU it can be completely different, but it seems likely he is one of the good guys. He, at the very least, may be tempted by the dark side though, as he stated that the Flag Smashers have an attractive goal, a world without borders. With everyone working in harmony, at least that is what I assume, he appears to be attracted to the idea for obvious reasons. Again, it is more their methods on how to overthrow society than their actual goals that makes them criminals. Which nicely aligns with the new Captain America's agenda and my theory of him being part of that group. Easter egg. And while we're at it, Flag Smasher also exists in the comics, but not as a group. There it is a person named Karl Morgenthau, who has the same goals as the group in the MCU. In the series, Karl is reimagined as Kari Morgenthau, who we only quickly saw with a mask, handing out similar masks to the masses. The organization is called Ultimatum in the comics, which, typically for Marvel, turns out to be a backronym, an acronym reverse engineered to build an existing word. Here, underground, liberated, totally integrated mobile army to unite mankind. One very interesting topic is touched on here, and was mentioned in WandaVision as well. The time of the blip. What happened in the 5 years where half the world was gone? And what impact had it that they all came back at once? Different groups seem to prefer either scenario, with Sam commenting every time it gets better for one group, it gets worse for another, where Torres interjects that the 5 years were not better, showing that he was one who didn't vanish, but also raising suspicion as he seemingly sympathizes with the Flag Smashers. I am really curious to find out what happened in the world during those 5 years and how it changed again 6 months ago. I assume this will be one of the central topics of Phase 4, and that would be a good thing. War Machine James Rhodes reiterated that in his guest appearance, saying all was chaos, that the incident broke the world and destroyed most alliances. But it also created new coalitions and partnerships. He also said that Steve would have wanted Sam to take up the mantle of Captain America, as the world needs a hero, but Sam felt that new heroes are needed, and that the shield didn't belong to him. Something that he may now feel different about, with someone else holding the symbol. As I said before, I assume this to be the main point of this series. Who will be the new Captain America, or his successor carrying the shield? Could be the new Captain, if he is no villain. Could be Sam, as Steve wanted, or Bucky, who, and this is not even an Easter egg, was also Captain America in the comics. I'm looking forward to the rest of the show as I expect some funny buddy comedy interactions. Keep in mind that they both know each other and even text each other, though Bucky is ghosting Sam right now, but at the end of the day are friendly with each other at best. In prior movies they were bickering a lot, and at the end of the day the only connection they have is that one of them was Steve's best friend in the past and the other in the present. With Cap out of the picture, they need to reinvent themselves and their relationship, and that will likely be very entertaining.
What's going on in that cyborg brain of yours? Gears turning. Oh, they're malfunctioning. They're on fire. God, I hate you.
Now for the rating. I enjoyed this episode a lot, and it was a stronger start than WandaVision presented, but that is due to the different concepts and can't really be compared. It was better than good, but not yet excellent, so I think a strong and solid 8 out of 10 points is fair. Same rating from Neal, 8 out of 10 points. He thought that this was a great start to the series and enjoyed getting to know more about Sam and Bucky on a personal level. So we are up to a good start. How did you like this first chapter? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. That's it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, like it and feel free to share it with your friends. And why not subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any future video. Make sure to also hit the notification bell to get a heads up whenever a new video is posted. So much for now, see you next time and thanks for watching!